Didn't go on my shit, right?
Hope you don't mind I let myself in. Now are you gonna hold up your end and release Yui Mamiya? Come on. You and I can either try to make this work, or neither of us is gonna get what we want. So, you gonna make the call or what?
Hello? Yagami-san?
I'm with Kawana. You can let Mamiya-san go.
Got it. Will do.
Sorry about all this, Yagami. Why don't you sit down? Maybe it's time you and I had a heart-to-heart. How's Kaito holding up?
Kaito-san's recovering in the hospital. For now. Sawa-sensei is another story, though.
I can hardly believe it. She was the last person I wanted to get mixed up in all this shit.
If that's the case, why were you already waiting in her apartment? RK's top men were lying in wait over there to get their hands on you. So why was she the one lying on the ground? Answer me, Kawana. Was it because of you?
Would you feel better if it was?
How dare you?
You're thinking that if you hadn't stuck your nose in her affairs, she might be at home grading her papers right now. You tell me. Is that what's eating away at you right now? Because if it is, you're mistaken. That guilt is mine alone to bear. It's my burden to carry. When I saw on the news that she had been murdered in cold blood, it felt like the whole world had stopped spinning to me. I would take it all back right now if I could. But unfortunately, to fix this, I'd need to turn the clock back further than you'd think.
You mean back to when you were a school teacher?
Yeah, basically. Back to when I still had a little faith in humanity. Seeing someone's life get cut short, you never really bounce back from it, do you? But I don't have to tell you that. I did my homework on you, Yagami. It seems you were a fairly accomplished lawyer. You even scored a murder acquittal. But we both know how that ended. The death of an innocent young woman. You and I are the same. We both have scars. And they're the type of scars that never fully heal.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
But for Sawa-kun, it was 13 years ago. The very day before Mitsuru Kusamoto jumped, she stopped me in the hall so she could tell me about how serious the bullying really was. Up until that day, I just assumed it was boys being boys, teasing. I figured it was harmless, that they'd get bored with it, and then they'd move on. I mean, come on. Kawai had to have been twice the size of Mitsuru. It's not like I'd seen any fighting. So I warned him not to overdo it. And eventually he would take the hint.
Well, according to what I was told, you smirked, actually.
Yeah. I guess that's what I did. I was too late. Sawa-kun had to point it out. Sensei. How could you be so blind, she asked. Her eyes were this piercing mix of pity and scorn. According to what she told me, nearly half the class was bullying Mitsuru. She said she'd seen him at the station. She made it sound like he had half a mind to jump onto the tracks right then and there. I'm not so presumptuous anymore. But back then, I used to think my students were my biggest fans. I thought I'd won their hearts and minds. But the look on Sawa-kun's face that day made me see the truth. I couldn't just go on smiling like nothing happened. So I decided to do my homework. The next day, I put a hidden camera in the classroom after school.
So that's how he got the bullying video. He had set up himself to record the room remotely.
So you admit that you're the one who recorded that video?
Yeah. You saw it, right? Talk about the ugly side of kids. Hard to watch, wasn't it? Unfortunately, by the time I picked up the camera and saw what it recorded, Mitsuru had made his jump. I missed him by a few crucial moments. What happened in that classroom was the final straw. Later on, all the bullies were asked what happened. Each and every one of them lied. Kawai started it. It wasn't our idea, they said. To anyone outside of it, all they'd seen was Kawai forcing Mitsuru to do his bidding. So the people held culpable were Kawai and myself. The callous homeroom teacher who deliberately turned a blind eye. That was the day I began living my life with real purpose.
So you couldn't forgive your students who got away with bullying. You went so far, you put aside your own life to make sure they atoned somehow.
That's right. Mitsuru Kusumoto's still a vegetable. He's as good as dead. But I don't care. We have no right to forget about him.
You say that, even though Sawa-sensei ended up paying for it. I'll ask you again. Why were you at her apartment the other day? Don't dodge the question this time.
I wouldn't say I dodged it. But I suppose I should explain from the beginning. 4 years ago, there was a suicide at Sawa-kun's school. It was her own student this time. You know this, right? A student at Seiryo High School? Toshiro Ehara.
Yeah.
When she was in court, Sawa-kun had no choice but to say there wasn't any bullying. Soon as she told me that, I knew Hiro Mikoshiba would be my next target. Of course, she had no idea about any of that. When Sawa-kun learned Mikoshiba had been murdered, though, she reached out to me herself.
What did she want?
She had a sneaking suspicion that I was involved in his death. She called me a few times, prodding carefully for answers. Quite the perceptive lady, really.
And? What kind of answers did you give her?
I denied any knowledge of it, but at one point, she mentioned something kind of odd. That there was a detective at the school already investigating the incident.
Huh?
She meant you, of course. A detective already knee-deep into the case, despite the police barely even knowing about Mikoshiba.
Sawa-sensei was the one who told Kawana I'd shown up at her school.
The police are a pain in the ass. But when an out-of-town detective comes sniffing around, that's bad. I knew I had to act fast to get you off the trail. Although, Sawa-kun was a problem too. I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone.
And then what?
First, I found out where the two of you would be meeting up, at that little cafe. Then, I hired the Liumang to step in. But you put up one hell of a fight. They had strength in numbers, but you would have taken out the whole group if I hadn't stepped in. Nonetheless, my other message went through. At the same time, Sawa-kun was handed a photo of Mikoshiba's final moments. I left that task to someone you know. Yue Mamiya. They hadn't seen each other in 13 years. Sawa-kun had no idea.
The lady in the sunglasses. Yue Mamiya was involved in that too?
No shit, nigga.
Everything I did that night was intended as a warning to Sawa-kun. Although, I guess I didn't have to be so extreme about it.
Yeah. Sawa-sensei was too smart. She must have started suspecting that you'd had something to do with Mikoshiba's murder. After all, who else could have known we'd be meeting at that cafe? she'd have traced it right back to you.
Even if Sawa-kun had started to suspect me, I knew she wouldn't sell me out to the cops. We're too alike. The both of us lost students to suicide on our watch. That said, I couldn't bear the thought of dragging her down into the mess I started, so I scared her off, and I thought she would stay away. The day she was killed, she called to ask if we could speak in person. I could tell something was wrong. She was on the verge of tears the whole call. Then she broke down. I asked her why, of course, but she wouldn't give me a straight answer no matter how I tried to phrase the question.
So then what? Did you just waltz on over there? It doesn't seem like you.
Watch it. You don't know me well enough to say that.
Maybe. But I assume you had some sort of plan going in. Were you gonna confess to her?
Here's the thing. If she'd figured out that I was behind Mikoshiba, and it didn't sit well with her, I would have told her every last detail. Sawa-kun knew. I think she would have understood me. Or at least that's what I had believed. In hindsight, I think she was forced to make that call. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure she'd have rather washed her hands of me. Hard as it is to hear, I think she called me under duress. RK probably had her hostage. That would explain the vague responses. That's probably why her voice was trembling. It's tragic.
You mean it was RK? Why do they want you so badly anyway?
Finally, you get to this.
I don't know.
What?
If I knew their angle, I'd be doing more than just scurrying around.
You serious?
Believe me, I'm just as clueless as you are, much as I hate to admit it. Honest, I'm not thrilled that a small army wants my head on a platter. Have you noticed how RK seems to show up at the worst possible times? Someone must be pulling their strings.
Then we're on the same page. At least we agree on something.
Just a sec. Yeah. I'm still over here with Yagami-san. You're not being tailed by any of his guys, are you? Okay. Then I'll meet you right now. That was Mamiya-kun. She said she's free. You guys have been true to your word. Tell Sugiura-kun that I said thank you.
Now you want to go? We still have some business to settle here.
Now remember, I'm the handyman here. Let me do the dirty work. I don't know what else to tell you, but you need to get out while you still can.
If you disappear into the night, I don't want to go busting my ass just to find you again. Before you leave, I'll need some contact info. A phone number would be nice.
Oh, no need for that. As far as I'm concerned, this is goodbye.
I wouldn't count on that.
なんでどうしてこの孤独は誰にとって必要なの空に上げる首はいつか誰かに切り取られていた声で笑うことはいつになれば許されるのかなもし今疲れ果てて倒れたって誰も気づかない今日は今日のままお前らのせいだお前らのせいだあの記憶
Of course. Of course.
Hold up!
You don't give up!
Of course I don't.
You won't get away!
Bro, there gotta be some. Oh.
You don't give up!
Bro, how? What the fuck? Bro, I hit triangle. They fouled for that.
Leave me alone!
That's probably what I needed to kick too, huh?
You don't give up!
Oh shit.
You won't get away!
Now look at you! Leave me alone!
Hold up!
Damn, that would have been good to kick him with. Now I gotta.
Now look at you!
Gotta stall him out.
Get away!
Oh shit! Bro. This man is. Bro, he did not need to do all that.
Do you have anything else to do? You don't give up!
He getting tired now.
You won't get away!
Kinda is though, bro. Oh, this dumbass got tired.
Yeah. Catch you later! Oh, damn it!
I don't know.
Get back here!
This nigga was awesome shit for that, bro.
What the? Where'd he go?
Behind you. Bro, they just gearing up for it, bro. Be prepared. Like, y'all been caught.
What
I
up?
must.
You
Did
guys,
y'all get me?
you really need the masks? Come on, Kurakawa kids.
You heard that, right? The detective here already knows everything.
Kawana!
What are you going to do now? What do you think happens when he spills everything?
I know this nigga really ain't going down this route with me.
Sounds like your lives are over, unless you shut him up.
This man is really going down this route with me. Oh, my nigga said no face, no
You'll
case.
finish the job for us, right?
This nigga's, yo, bruh, how you gonna? Why would you take off your mask if you ain't gonna go all the way through with shit, man? I'm good off niggas, man. I'm good off niggas. I'm good off y'all, bro.
Oh, he's even got a name to your voice.
Answer me, Sensei!
I know. I'll be the one to finish it. You just knock him out.
Okay.
Fuck him up, fuck him up, fuck him up.
Listen!
Come on. What kind of lesson is this?
missing. Damn. Caught me in the midst of climbing too. Hold that. Left. Left, right. Left.
Kawana! Oh no, Kawana! Really? So nice of you to stick around, Mamiya-san. Well, since Kawana couldn't stay, sounds like you're not out of the woods just yet, huh?
Well, looks like you get to hang with us some more. Boy, I didn't think you was filming me off of that first date. I guess I was wrong. I guess you was fooling me, huh? Wanna come through here with a baseball bat and shit. I think she likes us, y'all. I think she likes us. Feeling us.
13 years in the past. Mitsuru Kusimoto plunged himself into a coma, sealing his fate alongside Kawana's. Ridden by guilt, Kawana sets off on a path of vengeance, and the bullies he drags with him are shackled to the shadows. However, Yokosawa's murder serves as a deadly wake-up call to what he's done.
But yeah, the one mystery we still gotta figure out is RK. But I'm thinking Ihara low-key has something to do with this part. Like, we think Kawana's playing them, but what if low-key Ihara, like, is actually playing them?
Hey. What are you doing?
Getting your identification on record, so you won't be a threat to us anymore?
What?
And I think you owe us after everything you've done. Expect me to come collect one of these days.
Yep.
Your carriage awaits, Mamiya-san.
Don't tell me we're going back to that dingy arcade.
We sure are. But try not to hold a grudge. It wasn't us who abandoned you. Higashi, you already called Sari-san and the gang, right?
Yeah, I let them know what's up. They said they'll head over when they're ready.
Did Shirosaki-sensei say anything?
Well, she was pretty stunned when I told her who Kawana really is and what he's up to.
Sounding a little smug there, Higashi-san. Taking credit for the detective work you didn't even do? Back me up here, Yagami-san.
Whatever, man. Kawana got away, and that's all that matters. Still, the task in front of us is finishing Sari-san's case. We have to clear up Ihara's crime once and for all. With Mamiya-san's help, of course.
Finally, I'm ready to get some answers. Well, we still got time till Shirosaki-sensei gets here. Why don't you take a breather, Yagami-san?
Huh? That'd be okay?
Sure. I'll call you once everyone's here.
Yeah, a break sounds good.
By the way, Higashi, has anything unusual gone down in Kamurocho lately? Anything involving RK?
Yeah, about that. My guys are saying things have been a little too quiet since yesterday. Soma and Akutsu are out in Ijincho too. When they come back, they're in for a rude awakening. I'll make them pay for what they did to Kaito Aniki.
Make them pay? Aren't your Yakuza days behind you now?
That's not the Yakuza in me talking. That's just a problem I'm gonna be the solution for.
Isn't that exactly what a Yakuza would say?
Fine. Think of it as getting revenge for a brother.
You still
doing the right thing, damn it!
Yeah, maybe it's just how you're putting it.
Besides, what's it matter if I was Yakuza? I've got my own code, and I'm gonna do right by me.
Whatever you say. Much as things change, they stay the same.
I'm out. Might as well check on how the city's doing. I'll go kill some time somewhere. What you looking at? Ain't nothing going on here. Need to go. Word. Ain't nothing going on here. Kill some time, man. What's the name open? I seem like it. I could always go get drunk. God damn, bro. Yeah, Kamurocho is too crowded, bro. Bro, that was the quickest killing time ever.
Hey, Yagami-san, it's Sugiura.
Hey.
Shirosaki-sensei and the others just got to Charles. They're getting ready to grill Mamiya-san.
Got it. Then I'll head back soon.
Thanks.
Bruh, them niggas did not do nothing to my health.
And stay down. What a waste.
But nah, y'all see me, I be saving these bars for final bosses, I don't be playing that shit with them no more. Trying to do that spamming shit. I'm like, nah, we ain't beef for that. I can spam too.
Really? You too, Gendo-sensei?
What? Am I in the way?
Of course not. I didn't know you still did field work.
I figured if they could pull a fast one on Saori-kun, I'd at least want to look him in the eye.
Why are all these people here? What gives?
It's a
We've been
party.
waiting for you, Yagami-san. Mamiya-san is about to enlighten us on the truth behind the groping.
Good.
Oh, and I heard about Sawa-sensei. I'm so sorry.
Our condolences.
Looks like she got mixed up in all this when RK was chasing after Kawana. But we're still not sure why they chased him. To figure that out, we'll have to retrace Kawana's steps.
Exactly.
That said, let's start with the harassment charges, Mamiya-san.
Best believe I would have had a phone ready to record all this shit.
Fine. Let's get this over with.
Pout all you want, but keep the answers straight. Got it?
Nahara's assault was designed to establish a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. So Kawana had you play the victim, and together you pulled one over on the police and the court.
Can you confirm if this is all accurate so far, please?
Yeah.
The person who groped you on the train wasn't Ihara-san himself. It was his stand-in. And my understanding is that he had conspirators to help him fabricate this event?
That's right.
What was Kawana doing at the time? Was he in Ijincho or Tokyo?
Didn't you hear your lady friend? Ihara-san had a stand-in. And that stand-in was our sensei.
You mean Kawana posed as Ihara himself? So this Ihara was actually Kawana. Huh.
Sensei and Ihara-san have a pretty similar build. Not sure they could have pulled it off otherwise, you know?
But some spots don't look right, like his mouth. You sure that's really Kawana-san?
That part around his mouth is fake. He said he scanned Ihara-san's face and made it on a 3D printer.
Oh, huh.
You can print things in 3D now?
Well, it's a machine that takes a model's data from a computer and prints physical objects using materials like resin. So if you were to scan a person's face onto a computer, a 3D printer could accurately recreate it.
I don't know the details, but that's what Sensei used to become Ihara-san.
Something like this. See, with a 3D printer, a piece of a face is pretty easy to make.
What the hell?
I see. His eyes are hidden behind the sunglasses, and the seams on his jaw are obscured by the mask.
It's incredible, I must say. With the mouth area so visible, it's too convincing to think he's anybody else. And with the prosecution assuming he's just another sexual predator, they fell for it.
This is no time to be impressed. In case you forgot, he had the defense fooled too.
Right.
Assuming Kawana was Ihara's double, there's still some evidence I'm iffy about.
I'm of the same opinion.
Okay. Which evidence is questionable?
Time to pull back the curtain on this case. Any evidence I'm unsure of, I need to press my Mia on it right now. Dear God. I was not paying attention. Right, time to pull back. Any evidence? I'm unsure of any. Okay, any evidence. think they're asking about the blind spots, right? Like when she do the switch.
How about this then?
What's this? A map of the station?
We made a diagram of Shinjuku Station. The platform's packed with cameras, but take a closer look and you'll notice a small blind spot.
We've all been looking into it. So, let's say Ihara murdered Mikoshiba and faked his alibi at the station. If that was the case, then after Ihara had his stand-in do the deed, they would have swapped at this blind spot. Sound about right?
Is I give up what you're looking for? You figured it out. You win. What more do you want?
Better press her on this evidence. Time to pull back the current on this groping case. So, I guess that wasn't it.
This piece of the puzzle still needs an explanation.
Is that...
The police examined the trace evidence on Ihara's hands after he was caught. And from the analysis, the same fibers from Mamiya-san's undergarments were found on Ihara's hands.
That's right. If the stand-in was the groper, Ihara-san wouldn't have touched Mamiya-san at all. But the evidence on Ihara-san's hands suggests otherwise. Rather strange, isn't it?
I take it there was a trick to this, too?
That's simple. Before I got on the train, I met with the real Ihara-san at the underground platform. That's when I had him touch the undergarment. After that, all I had to do was go to the bathroom and put them on. That's where the fibers in the trace were from.
As I suspected. She fabricated the harassment long before it happened.
What the police found on Ihara-san's hands was exactly what we wanted them to find. And it would serve as hard proof he grabbed me. The cords really ate it up. It was hard not to laugh sometimes, to be honest.
You're really starting to open up. That's the spirit.
Wait, did he just make a sexual pun? I just peeped that. Oh shit. Are we supposed to just get like all the evidence like taken care of?
What do you make of this?
I mean, what's there to doubt?
You tell me?
The one running on the platform wasn't Ihara-san. It was Sensei pretending to be him, right?
Meaning...
There is no more meaning. That's all there is to it. The stand-in turned out to be none other...
Okay, but when did he switch? That's my curiosity. Or maybe they're asking for this one. Maybe I'm tripping.
How should we be looking at this?
The guy getting taken down in the footage is the real Ihara-san. Sensei had already switched places with them before the scene happened. No one saw through his disguise.
Makes sense. There'd be no way to swap places after getting caught like this. The sunglasses were removed too.
Also, the person who tripped him was one of ours. So was the one who took the smartphone video. If nobody tried to stop him, he would have just gotten away. But the most important part of it was pinning Ihara-san as the culprit out in public.
Right. If that didn't happen, the entire alibi goes up in smoke.
More or less.
So basically, this entire battery case was calculated from the start. Nothing but smoke and mirrors.
But that doesn't tell me... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that doesn't tell me when the switch happens. I guess I'm literally asking there like all the evidence.
Any thoughts after seeing this?
Stop it.
You're gonna look away? You aided and abetted by playing the victim, didn't you?
I mean, yes.
Who put this video up on the internet?
Sensei did. He said from the start that once Ehara-san got his guilty verdict, he'd upload it to the internet.
So that was all part of the plan.
Yeah. Sensei can't forgive the law for how easy it lets out bullies. Ehara-san's the same way. His son's death was brushed aside. The court blamed his suicide on unknown factors. And that's what led them to his whole plan. The real victim is some bully who never got what he deserved, and the killer gets off in court by being convicted of battery. How would the public respond after finding out they'd gamed the law like that?
So Kawana and Ahara's real plan was to make a mockery out of the justice system.
Seems to be going well for them. The courts are beside themselves for dragging the police into this.
I guess Ahara really was desperate. He was never concerned about his own punishment. He tarnished his own name to humiliate the law.
Yeah, cop or not, Ahara is a broken man. Nobody took responsibility for his son's death, and the courts all but ignored his case. No wonder he went along with Kawana.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Sensei and Ehara-san are the perfect pair with nothing to lose. The only ones who do are the ones forced to comply. Us. Speaking of which, are we done here yet?
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Time to pull back the current on the Grapevine case. Yeah, so I just gotta keep asking her questions.
How about this then?
And this is?
Before the incident, Ahara used this card to go through the ticket gate at Ikebukuro, the time of which was recorded.
Right, and it was on October 7th at 7:43 a.m.
Thanks, Hoshino-kun.
Happy to help, Yagami-san.
At the earliest, Mikoshiba's time of death would have been 7:30 a.m. If Ahara killed Mikoshiba in a Jinsho, he would have only had 13 minutes to get to Ikebukuro. And frankly, that's impossible.
That's what's stumping you?
Huh?
Sensei borrowed the card from Ehara-san beforehand and passed her the game. Afterward, he slipped it back to Ehara-san when they switched places. That way, Ehara-san ended up having the time-stamped card on him. Makes sense now.
So even the entry time through the ticket gate was used as part of the alibi?
It all seems so obvious now that I hear it. Nobody'd suspect that a groping was being used as an alibi for murder.
Yeah. And on top of all that, no one knew Mikoshiba had been killed during the trial. They really pulled it off.
Anything else?
Yagami-san, you sure that's enough?
Yeah, I think we've got plenty. Bottom line, groping was a fabrication. At the very least, we know that the prosecution's evidence can all be refuted.
The courts were being intentionally misled. I'm considering filing an appeal.
Are you saying you want a retrial?
I am. We'll reveal Ahara and Kawana's plot and overturn the verdict they issued.
That might be harder than it sounds.
Why do you say that, Genda-sensei?
Well, the previous trial resulted in Ahara being found guilty, right? As the client, if he doesn't want an appeal, there's no way you're getting one. Doesn't matter what any lawyer tries to do. If Ahara refuses to appeal, then that's that.
Then we'll talk to him tomorrow. First, we need to see how he reacts to everything we've got on him.
Sounds good. Then let's meet at the detention center tomorrow.
Will do.
So, we done for the night?
Sure are. Great job, everyone. Go get some rest.
Yo, Yagami. You sure it was cool to let that Mamiya chick just go home?
Yeah? Why?
I mean, she helped Kawana kill all those people. Aren't you gonna turn her in or something?
And then you also got the fact that more than likely people are gonna try and hunt her down. Just because of her association with Kawana. Like why don't y'all ever put this shit into retrospective, yo? This is kind of like the same shit that ended up getting that teacher killed. Like, you probably shouldn't have helped out Kawana. Like, when he was getting jumped in that, he was getting jumped at that motel. I said that motel, at, that apartment complex. Should have made sure that the person that was the weakest, like, got the feds over there and shit. Because had that had happened, she would have been alive. Now you're letting somebody else go again with no proper like protection guaranteed. And matter of fact, she's the key person that can testify to this shit. She's actually the person that you need to testify. Because Kawana sure as hell probably ain't gonna testify. Ihara ain't gonna testify. Like, who gonna testify for you, bro?
I would. There's nothing we can do.
Nothing we can do?
Frankly, we don't have any proof of the murder she was talking about.
What, so this is all for nothing?
Nothing directly pointing to Mamiya anyway. Aside from Mikoshiba, no other bodies turned up. Which means all we can do is take her home, right? Sugiura is making sure she gets back safe.
Fine, forget it. Why are you still here? Everyone else went home already.
Come on, man, why the cold shoulder? Am I really that annoying?
You wouldn't be the guy I'd call to hang out with. So if you're done, then go.
Wow, straight for the jugular, huh?
But if it's help you need, I'll be there. I've had nothing but time lately. But only if you bow your head and ask nice. Then I'll consider it.
I know for a fact you'd help me out regardless, so why waste a good bow? Thanks for the drink.
Dude, come on. That was your cue to bow and ask nice.
Gonna go with Sari-san to interview. I'm called that. Alright. Damn, these niggas came out the woodwork, huh? Legendary spinning kick. Like that. Good block, boy. Good block, boy. Good block, boy. Hold that. Sorry, I had to clean off my shoe for a second. Yeah, y'all see it. I start scraping that motherfucker on the floor, bro. Like scrape, 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 crunch, scrape, scrape. Oh dear God. Actually will come in handy. Oh damn, I can only be using the EX boost. See, I wasn't paying attention to that. Like fam, I never taunt, so it's like It's ironic because I have not really, fam. I have not really been going crazy with the moves. My moves have been pretty basic. Because again, there's so much shit you can do. Cancel knockdown. Oh, that's one thing I gotta say about this game so far. I haven't really needed like skills really haven't come into play like how they did like in the first one. Like I have not done that much lockpicking. Actually no, I only did one lockpick I think. Yeah, so I only did one lockpick. I haven't even used the drone once. Bro, this nigga is doing too much. Bro, you doing too much, bro.
What a waste.
Bro, they still never explained to me what those do. So, I feel like in some retrospective, I'm just kind of collecting this shit. Or I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, but nah, believe it or not, it was a lot of shit I skipped through this playthrough. But again, haven't really needed like, yeah, so our recommendation for y'all may be to play this on the toughest difficulty so that I think you get the most out of the story that way. Like generally I would, but it's like it's gonna be moments where you probably gonna want to restart and shit. I said restart, it's gonna be moments where it's gonna be tough as shit. I don't know. I say maybe one more RPG game. Like I'm talking about turn-based. Maybe one more RPG turn-based game or whatever. And I think like next year, at the latest, if not probably even sooner, I might just only play games on the hard difficulty. I think I've finally gotten to like that point. I can actually do RPGs at a harder difficulty now. Time for Sayori-san and me to interview Ihara. Better take a cab to the detention center. Yo, what if by the end of this nigga gets shanked? in prison and some shit. It'd be like, is you kidding me? Fuck it. I know y'all see me.
And stay down.
I got so tired of being stunned. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Oh.
So, you're recommending an appeal? I have that right? Did some new evidence come to light?
Yui Mamiya told us some things, like how you faked your alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. You wanted the sexual battery conviction, right?
Well...
Your goal was to avenge your son and humiliate the law on a grand scale.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ahara-san, we have a much better grasp of the situation than you think.
And what exactly have you grasped?
Like Yagami-san just said, you're innocent, as far as the harassment goes. As your lawyer, I'll file for an appeal, and we'll make sure the world knows it.
Thanks, but no. I'm scum of the earth. A pervert. The prosecution and the judge made that very clear in the verdict.
On the day of the crime, October 7th, at around 6:30 a.m., you were in Ijincho, not Tokyo.
Baloney. I was relaxing at home.
Except that you weren't.
Oh?
You wanted to give the man who pushed your son to suicide the beating of a lifetime. And you'd miss out on that opportunity if you were at home, which is why you were in Ijincho instead. Isn't that right? You and Kawana's former student staked out Mikoshiba's house until he left. Then you dragged your prey into a car and brought him to an abandoned building in Ijincho, which would later become a murder scene. Every bone on Mikoshiba's fingers was broken. Remembering how he pushed Toshiro-kun to his death, it's no wonder you'd go that far. You tortured Mikoshiba without a shred of remorse. You inflicted no small amount of pain and terror. There's no way you weren't there, and I'd put my money on that.
And then...
You need the whole play-by-play, even though you already know it?
Oh, not at all. I'm just fascinated by this outrageous little story.
He's a piece of evidence to show what he did next after beating him. Man, what's that have to do with anything?
As for what you did next after beating Mikoshiba...
That's quite a home video.
Without leaving anything on Mikoshiba's body that could be traced back to you, you slit his throat. Estimated time of death was around 7:30 a.m. on October 7th. You tossed the bloody coat and made your way to Ikebukuro Station, where Yui Mamiya was waiting.
Are you sure? I was at Ikebukuro by 7:30 a.m. Would have been impossible for me to kill Mikoshiba in Ijincho.
The person in the security camera footage in Ikebukuro was a double who imitated your likeness. The identity of whom belonged to Jin Kawana, the handyman in Ijincho. Or maybe you know him by a different name. Former high school teacher Yu Kitakata. So which name did he give you?
I don't know who you're talking about.
With Kawana in view of the security camera, you met up with Yui Mamiya at Ikebukuro first. That's where you touched the undergarments she had prepared. The police would later discover the trace evidence on your hands and pin the groping on you. Then you made your way to Shinjuku Station. After that, Mamiya and Kuwana acted out the groping as they arrived at Shinjuku Station. Kuwana jumped out of the train and Mamiya chased after him. And then, in the smallest of blind spots in a station absolutely packed with cameras, you were waiting for Kuwana, who looked just like you. With the two of you matching, you were able to swap places in that huge crowd without anyone noticing. Kuwana handed you the transit card used to pass the ticket gate. Just one piece of hard evidence that places you in Ikebukuro at 7:43 a.m. And right after the swap, Mamiya started calling for help. After that, well, we've all seen how the news reported it. You were caught in a public place with plenty of witnesses.
An active duty police officer arrested for sexual battery. The public outcry was very clear. As a result, despite it being your first offense, you were actually tried and convicted. The consensus is that it was a fitting punishment for someone so heinous. Even as your lawyer, I felt the same.
Have some confidence in yourself, Shirosaki-sensei. The prosecution, the judge, and a lawyer like you all laid out the evidence in court and found me guilty. I'm in no position to doubt you. And I've long accepted the ruling that Toshiro was never bullied. There's nothing I can do but abide by the rule of law. Right?
Oh, again, it's his
all
emotions.
I can do, right?
I know what you're trying to say. You carried out the justice that the courts wouldn't, right?
Everything my son went through was passed off like it never even happened. School, the teachers, and yes, the court. They all dismissed the reason he died.
That's when Kuwana came in the picture, telling you Toshiro-kun had been bullied. But was it Kawana's words that suddenly made you want to kill Mikoshiba? Because all of his fingers were broken while he was still alive. Was that really all just your pent-up rage?
What do you have to say, Ihara-san?
Shouldn't have been any evidence of Mikoshiba's bullying. Who told Ihara the truth? Did your son tell you he was bullied? Nah. Did you discover it online? No. Tell him it's one of these two. I don't think Kuwana told him though. Because he was already mad about the... Yeah, I think it was her.
Was Sawa-sensei the one who told you the truth? She was the only person Toshiro-kun confided in. You had to have heard it from her, right?
Nearly hit the nail on the head, as they say.
Nearly?
After my trial, she confessed she knew about the bullying. But only to her old teacher over the phone. She had no idea she was being recorded.
What?
Kuwana-san let me listen to that recording where I learned Sawa-sensei had been muzzled by both the homeroom teacher and the lawyer. That was the proof of Toshiro's bullying I'd wanted all throughout the trial.
Oh, wait. Who is the lawyer? I said the lawyer. Who's prosecutor? Who was the prosecutor for this? How do I think about it? Because then that makes sense about who RK would want. Like, that makes sense of where RK came from. Of course, because who Who would benefit more from knowing this? Because think about it like this, y'all. Trying to go back to the people who. So what's the name? Bullies got killed, right? But all that shit doesn't matter. You need to go to why Kawawa would want to get why Kawawa and the teacher, why would they end up being killed? Thing comes back to me is both of them are connected by this prosecutor. So I'm thinking, so you got prosecutor and you got the chairman, right? So those two might be the reason of RK, and I think that's where the RK connection comes in, because as long as he was alive, that meant truth could be revealed, right? So let's say you're looking into like the murder of this particular student, right? And you end up figuring and they end up figuring out, or they end up already knowing that what Kuwana was already up to. Or the whole thing with Ihara. Like, they end up figuring that out, maybe from Ihara himself, because he was talking about making the whole justice system and all that pay for the bullying. And if they somehow was to snitch about the whole bullying thing, the case may get reopened up. And so now you got Sawa Sensei, Ihara, and you got this other teacher that are going to be willing to speak up about like the past shit. So the prosecutor at the time probably doesn't want that to happen, because now his name going to get tarnished. But we'll see. But like, yeah, I'm starting to come up with small theories.
After hearing Sawa Sensei's words, I finally understood. They pushed my boy over the edge.
Was there no other evidence of the bullying? Like a diary of Toshiro-kun's or something of the sort?
Nothing. Toshiro never talked to me or my wife about the bullying. And that was probably all my fault. He was bullied in middle school, too. Kids would throw his pencil case around or hide his books. When I heard about it, I chewed him out. They walk all over you because you're weak. Grow spine, I told him.
I take it that was the wrong approach.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like it wasn't the wrong approach. He went about it the wrong way, though. It was executed extremely poorly. Like, you don't just tell your kid to grow up. Like, you help them, fam. Whether that means, like in some cases, some people put their kids in martial arts classes and shit. Because a lot of times, like, it's not just learning how to defend yourself with a lot of the martial arts classes. A lot of those classes help build confidence within you too. Because I look back on it, I'm like, maybe had I stayed in like karate or martial arts a little bit longer, like my confidence would be I'd probably be way more confident growing up. But I just was never into karate like that. You know? But anyway.
I can't imagine how much courage it took for him to come forward about his suffering. I'm sure he felt ashamed about it. And I should have listened when he pleaded for help. I should have told him I was proud of his bravery. But instead, I pushed him away. And in the end, Toshiro tried to make sure he never showed weakness to us again. no matter how much pain he was in. He went to a private school out in Yokohama because he hated living with me. But in the end, he still suffered.
And that's why you didn't hesitate to unleash hell on Mikoshiba.
If you say so.
Still won't admit to murdering Mikoshiba. Must be killing him not to.
So the first time Kawana showed up was when he let you listen to the phone call with Sawa-sensei, right?
Yes. He approached me and asked me if I still wanted justice for my son. I was in uniform when he came to me too. Very bold. But it paid off. I owe him a debt of gratitude.
Bro, you just low-key admitted that you possibly at the least indirectly put a hit out on a nigga, yo. Unfortunately, like we're in a what's the name, so this shit don't really matter like that.
He reassured me he had already taken care of multiple individuals like Goshiba, and that he'd urged other families to avenge the children they lost to bullying. He'd tell them that simply being branded a bully wasn't enough. He promised to deliver real justice.
If justice can be served at one's own discretion, laws would cease to serve their function. If the law isn't fair to everyone, no one will obey it. The law is only able to help the powerless because it can't be swayed by money, force, or anything else.
Then tell me, what's the solution when the law fails to punish someone who laughs in its face? To overlook those the law won't judge is to abandon those the law couldn't protect.
To render justice with confidence, you require sufficient evidence.
Some of the victims' families refused Kawana's offer of revenge, telling him it would be unforgivable. But even after rejecting his offer, not a one reported Kawana-san to the police. Do you understand what that implies? Whether you follow through with revenge or not, Kawana-san presents a solution that resonates with people. Being that the law is unfair and imperfect. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not. But we're fighting to make it as fair as we can. Laws have to change until they are perfect.
They don't change fast enough. Toshiro's death was murder by another name. Yet Hiromi Kushiba walked free. He even got to enroll in a teaching program as a student teacher. Someone like him? It's insane! I'd die of old age before the law was ever written to be fair enough. For Toshiro's sake, I can't turn a blind eye to a world where the Mikoshibas can live without consequence. Tell me, what alternative was there to getting blood on my hands? I didn't have any other choice.
Yagami-san, did he just...
This is the first time you've admitted to killing Mikoshiba.
You really did your research, unlike those useless cops. Kawana-san's plan was impressive, almost airtight. I didn't expect it to be unraveled so quickly.
I just
we
got
did
lucky.
actually do it.
There was some dirt on Yui Mamiya that Kawana could have used against her. If we hadn't found it, there's no way we would have gotten her to talk.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, but I'm under no obligation to tell you.
Ahara-san, you'll be sent to prison as a sex offender as it stands.
Of course. Just as I planned. The charges will be confirmed, and I'll be convicted. As for the police and the prosecution, they wouldn't be able to admit they made a mistake. I could scream, "I killed Mikoshiba" at the top of my lungs. it wouldn't matter.
Are you saying you intend to admit to the murder after you're released?
Everyone's seen the video of me killing Mikoshiba by now. It's obviously authentic, but the prosecution and the police are saying it's fake. They need it to be fake. Even if I do confess, they'll sweep it under the rug.
They wouldn't.
No, that's not beneath them. But I take it how they react doesn't really matter to you. All you want is to humiliate the law, don't you? The same system that determined Toshiro-kun's incident didn't happen.
It seems you're starting to understand, Yagami-san.
Ihara's achieved most of what he wanted to do. I can't overlook what he's already done.
If the prosecution wanted to charge me for Mikoshiba's murder, then they'd have to retract the battery verdict. And that would mean admitting to a massive blunder by the court at the hands of a criminal. It would be chaos. Despite knowing who murdered Mikoshiba, no one would know what to make of the case. Wouldn't that just be wonderful?
I hear you. And I even get why you'd feel pretty proud of accomplishing that.
Do you?
But in this case, the guy's pretty much grabbed the tiger by the tail.
What tiger's tail?
Someone's issuing orders to the thugs in Kamurocho from behind the scenes. He's the tiger in this case. And they've been closing in on your partner, Kawana. And Sawa-sensei got in their path. I'm sure you get the newspaper in here, right? You know, don't you? Sawa-sensei was killed after the thugs broke into her home. All because she got involved with Kawana.
I'm aware she was killed. But this is the first I'm hearing of the reason why.
Yeah, pretty much it's your fault why she got killed. Here you are laughing about tricking like the whole court, like bro. So you can see why Yagami kind of really like this nigga Yagami is a pro at keeping his cool. This is what I always tell people. I'm like, you always keep your cool no matter what. No matter what. And now it's paying off because now this nigga is really shaking his foundation now without him realizing it.
And by thugs, you mean arcade?
Yeah, but we don't know why they're going after Kawana. Any ideas?
No way I'd know.
You think it could be because she got mixed up in your deadly little game?
Excuse me?
That's what getting away with murder really looks like. The more you perpetuate the lie, the greater the rift you create. And then, the unthinkable happens. Kawana killed others besides Mikoshiba. You said so yourself. That's what brought the angry tiger into play. And if Sawa-sensei ended up paying for that instead, then how can you begin to believe your vengeance is fair?
Because she gave false testimony. She lied in court to say Toshiro was never bullied.
She couldn't name Mikoshiba, who was a minor at the time, without evidence. What's more, she was haunted by her testimony, always second-guessing if she did the right thing. But now she's been killed. Somehow that's acceptable to you? I'm gonna clear up what happened to Sawa-sensei, just like you did for Toshiro-kun.
How?
By going public with everything you and Kawana did. The first step is to appeal the sexual battery and undo this whole lie.
You never groped Yui Mamiya. That's one crime you're innocent of, Ihara-san. The court's verdict was incorrect. So please give us the chance to appeal. We can prove your innocence.
What on earth would I get out of that?
You get to humiliate the court again. Besides, what are you gonna do for the next half a year in a cell?
Fine. Do what you want. But just know this.
Yes?
I have no intention of admitting to killing Mikoshiba in court. Is your appeal still worth a damn?
We won't know till we try. Let's go, Sari-san. We have client approval to proceed with the appeal.
Dumbass. He a dumbass, yo. Bro. You've been smart this whole time, bro. But see, that's the shit I be talking about, bro. You shook your foundation just a little bit. Now your ass trying to get cocky because you thinking like, oh, my shit correct. Oh, everything I did was correct. Bro, you just signed yourself on a death, like you just signed yourself for a death warrant, bro. Cause yo, I would like, cause the whole Kuwana thing and all that, that's the main issue we gotta take care of now. But even then, we kind of really don't care that much. We just want the truth. Not only are we gonna expose the truth of what, we're gonna expose the truth on what everybody did, fam. On what everybody did. Shout out to Nero, he's hosting the stream. Appreciate that, bro. AKA Thanos. Ghost Star. Wait, did I finally say it right that time? Yay.
And we better act fast.
Yes, agreed.
Dumbass.
Sawa-sensei's death isn't on me.
Bro, I'm not trying to hear that shit. That shit is definitely on you.
Even if I have grabbed the tiger by the tail, that doesn't mean I killed her.
By that logic, you may as well admit that Mikoshiba didn't kill Toshiro-kun. You can't have it both ways.
Facts, nigga.
Listen to me. Everything about you, about Kuwana, about why Sawa-sensei had to die, we're gonna expose all of it.
All
That's
of
the only
it.
thing left we can do for her.
Word, bro. It's like, and then what's the name could say that, oh, they murdered that guy from 5 years ago, but that's not gonna work. It's too many people that can.
I'm going to fill Genda-sensei in on what happened. Why don't you head over to the office?
Sure thing.
Yeah, but like I was saying, it's like you can. Had a me on there.
So then, Ihara admitted to killing Mikoshiba, did he?
Off the record, yeah. He also admitted Kuwana approached him to offer revenge.
That sounds like you were productive.
It's enough for us to move forward with the appeal, I'd say. How does that sound, Genda-sensei?
Genda-sensei?
The sexual battery and Mikoshiba's murder are the very same case. To clear Ihara of harassment, you'll need to prove he murdered Mikoshiba. But you don't have evidence he did, do you?
Ihara-san was captured on video committing the murder.
And the prosecution claims it's a fake, of unknown origins. The police are saying the same.
They're only saying that to cover their asses.
In reality, the sexual battery evidence against Ihara-san is what was really fake. At the very least, we can claim Yui Mamiya and the others aided in fabricating that, alibi or not.
You really think the courts will grant you an appeal for just that?
Are you saying that's not possible?
I wouldn't go that far. But Ihara won't admit to murdering Mikoshiba in court. Kinda significant, don't you think? So what chance do you have even if you do appeal? Without any decisive new evidence, you'll just end up splitting hairs over the original verdict. And what good'll it do other than damage your own reputation, Saru-kun?
So Genda-sensei is worried about Saru-san's career. Sure, that's the case, although...
To be honest with you, I feel like I've been deeply underestimated.
What?
Saori-san, are you actually mad?
Yes.
Yeah, she's mad.
As a matter of fact, I am.
You have every right to be.
Listen, Sensei. Ihara and Kuwana devised this plan knowing full well they could manipulate the justice system. Have we not fallen right into their trap? If we take pity on the prosecution now, we play right into their hand.
True.
So how can we worry about reputation when our duty as lawyers is to face the law?
I understand where you're coming from, and you're right to think it, but...
And another thing. While acting as Ahara's defense in the first trial, I never truly believed the claim. I didn't trust the person I was defending, and I felt sick to my stomach even being in the courtroom.
Sorry, son.
Ahara likely saw right through that. He probably took great delight in our myopic dedication to the law. And I won't stand for that. I'm gonna show him exactly what I can do.
What about you, Yagami? I want to hear your thoughts.
He's not saying it, but he disagrees with Saori-san. Let's try to move this forward. Bam, here's my whole thing. Saori-san wants to... I'm just a detective here. Saori-san wants to pursue this all the way. I got her back. It's what I do is find the truth. And to be honest, it's like Gena-sensei isn't completely wrong here. He has every right to worry about his reputation because it's a whole law office. So I don't think Saori's 100% thinking about that's my whole thing. It's like I don't think he's just like worried about Saori in this scenario, but I think he's also worried about his whole office in general. But it's like, bruh, you already an office that was known for letting, well, a quote unquote murderer free, and then being able to disprove it. I think he's just worried the same thing that happened to Yakami would happen to Saori. That's like my whole thing.
We should listen to Saori-san. I understand why Ahara and Kawana did what they did. I can't condone it.
I see. So you feel it too, huh?
Yes. Although my motivation may not be as righteous as Saori-san's.
What do you mean?
Mikoshiba's murder, the fake groping alibi, the one behind it all was Kawana, and he's in hiding. We need to shine enough light on him that the public can see what he is. And the perfect place to do it is during Ahara's appeal hearing.
So it's not Ahara you're after, but Kawana.
If we pursue Ahara's case, Kawana-san's actions will naturally come to light.
And if we draw out Kawana, then RK and the ones backing them will make their move. Soma from RK said Sawa-sensei knew too much. Which means whoever's behind them has a secret that needs to stay buried, even if it means murder. And I need to figure that secret out. I owe Sawa-sensei that closure. The only thing we can do for her now is make sure the ones pulling the strings pay for it.
Well said. I guess going back wasn't ever really an option.
Genda-sensei.
Looks like I got complacent from all the peace and quiet. Leave it to me to underestimate the younger generation.
I apologize. I shouldn't have been so impertinent.
That should be my line, Saori-kun. I suppose I have to make up my mind after all that, don't I? Get out there and do what needs to be done. And heaven help anyone in your way.
Yeah!
Right.
Yep.
You heard him.
lining them up like, play these ponies, play these ponies. I'm stepping in hard of this, yeah, repping in. Watch me as I grab it, watch me as I we gon' ghost town, this Motown with your sound. You like the dust, can't fight with us with your sound. You so don't stop, get it, until you know that I heard through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be. I heard through the grapevine. Just a my
Foster Gamer, Foster Gamma.
I got now. I told you, fix my plate right smack, cause they been sleeping. It's time I bring my steak right back. I don't give a fuck about these sucker niggas. They type whack, cause I'm a nigga out of Jersey. Straight like that.